Can you come on video?
हाँ हाँ महोदय.
Okay, please start.
Just 1 second, महोदय.
Yeah. Mayank, you're ready with the two trees, the shloka, Duryodhana. Yeah, okay. No, that is.
अचतुर्वदनो ब्रह्मा द्विबाहुरपरो हरिः.
I think she has some problem with her connection. Mayank, why don't you recite the shlokas and the opening prayers also and the other two one as well. Start with the opening prayer now.
अचतुर्वदनो ब्रह्मा द्विबाहुरपरो हरिः अभाललोचनः शम्भुर्भगवान् बादरायणः नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् इतिहासप्रदीपेन मोहावरणघातिना लोकगर्भगृहं कृत्स्नं यथावत् सम्प्रकाशितम्.
Shrenu.
निःश्रेण्यौ ब्रह्मलोकस्य वाग्देव्याः कर्णकुण्डले धर्मद्रुममहामूले वाल्मीकिव्यासयोः कृतिः.
Okay, wonderful. I'll just do a quick revision and then you can tell the other two important shlokas, Mayank. Okay, last time we had seen how Duryodhana got very jealous of the Pandavas because everybody in the capital city of Hastinapura was praising Pandavas. They were saying that the Pandavas, Yudhishthira is the most dharmic person and we want him as the king. So that is when Duryodhana becomes very jealous and he wants the Pandavas somehow thrown out of the kingdom. So we had seen that and he gives a fantastic idea to Dhritarashtra that we'll tell the Pandavas that there is Pashupati's Yatra Mahotsava happening in a place called Varanavata. We'll build a palace out of wax or lac for them. So Laksha Gruha, it is called. A palace made of lac or wax. Okay. So Duryodhana was constantly jealous of the Pandavas. He was jealous of Bhima's strength. See, if he wants to be as strong as Bhima, he must work hard towards it. If his cousin is very strong, shouldn't he be very proud that he has got such a strong and capable cousin? There is no point being jealous or trying to throw them away. But however, Dhritarashtra also he was blind towards the mistakes of his son. So whatever he did, the king Dhritarashtra, he was not coronated as the king, but the father Dhritarashtra was blinded by love towards his son. See, it's the duty of a father or parents in general to guide their children whenever they are going wrong. But here we see that Dhritarashtra never corrected, never even attempted to correct Duryodhana's mistakes. A couple of times he tried to stop Duryodhana from doing what he was doing, but then Duryodhana would cry and do a lot of adamant moves, and therefore Dhritarashtra would eventually agree to whatever Duryodhana says. So the Pandavas were put in this Laksha Gruha, but thanks to Vidura's advice, Vidura's secret message, the Pandavas did not get burnt there. Instead, they escaped in a Suranga Marga. We had seen that part of the story. And then we saw how when Bhima carried Arjuna, Nakula, Sahadeva, Yudhishthira, and Kunti, and they were sleeping in the forest, a Rakshasi came in a very beautiful form. Her name was Hidimba. A Rakshasi who is in Kannada called Hidimbe. In Sanskrita, she is called Hidimba. She came and wanted to marry Bhima. And Kunti allows Bhima to marry, and the two of them get married. And her older brother, who is Hidimba Rakshasa, he is killed by Bhima. And Bhima marries Hidimba, the sister, and the son Ghatotkacha is born to them. The son Ghatotkacha, who is a half Rakshasa and a half human, he promises Bhima that whenever the Pandavas are in need, he'll come to their help. Okay, we had seen the story until this point. We'll continue from here today. We'll go a little faster. Before that, there are two very important slokas about the Mahabharata, which Mayank will recite now. I'll explain them, and after the class, Mayank will also send them on the group. We'll see how many of you will learn it by tomorrow. It's a challenge for you all to learn it by tomorrow. Last week, I had given a challenge that you'll have to memorize the names of the 18 parvas of Mahabharata. Today, at the end of the class, I'll ask you all. Let me see how many of you have memorized it. The names of the 18 parvas. Okay. Yeah. Mayank, will you please recite them?
Yeah.
Just listen carefully. Then I'll explain what it means also.
दुर्योधनो मन्युमयो महाद्रुमस्कन्धः कर्णः शकुनिस्तस्य शाखाः दुःशासनः पुष्पफले समृद्धे मूलं राजा धृतराष्ट्रो मनीषी युधिष्ठिरो धर्ममयो महाद्रुमस्कन्धोऽर्जुनो भीमसेनोऽस्य शाखाः माद्रीसुतौ पुष्पफले समृद्धे मूलं कृष्णो ब्रह्म च ब्राह्मणाश्च.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, can you repeat the first sloka slowly, line by line? All of you pay attention. Parjanya, Anisha, Aditi, all of you can even memorize it very quickly. I'm sure Rashmi, Pavani, all of you, Senior, Samruddhi, Adya, etc. Yeah, please listen to it carefully. Yes, Mayank, line by line.
दुर्योधनो मन्युमयो महाद्रुमः.
Okay, now here there are two slokas in which the Pandavas are compared to a tree, the Kauravas are compared to another tree. Vyasa, right in the beginning of the Mahabharata, compares the Pandavas and Kauravas to huge trees, and he says, what are the branches, what is the trunk, what is the root, etc. Duryodhano Manyumayo Mahadrumaha. Duryodhana is a tree, a huge tree filled with jealousy. Duryodhana is always jealous of the Pandavas. Okay, Duryodhano Manyumayo Mahadrumaha. Manyu means jealousy. So he is a person who is filled with jealousy. By the way, do you all remember how Gandhari gave birth to Duryodhana, Dushasana, etc., the 100 children? Why did Gandhari pull out the fetus from her womb? Can somebody raise your hands and tell quickly? One of you. Yes, Mahati. Or any
She
one
was
of you.
jealous because she was jealous of
Exactly.
Yudhishthira being born.
Exactly. Fantastic answer, Mahati. Gandhari was jealous of Kunti. She was jealous of Kunti because Kunti had already given birth to Yudhishthira and Gandhari had not yet given birth. So the very birth of Duryodhana and Dushyasana and the Saha, Durmada, etc., the 100 children was rooted in jealousy. Duryodhano Manyumayo Mahadrumaha. Then go ahead, Mayank.
स्कन्धः कर्णः शकुनिस्तस्य शाखाः.
Skandah Karanaha. Hey, huge tree filled with jealousy is Duryodhana. Skandah Karanaha. Skandha means the trunk of the tree is Karna. Karna is the one who is giving ideas for Duryodhana to execute his jealousy, to take, to trouble the Pandavas, to hurt the Pandavas. The ideas were given by Karna. Karna Skandaha. Shakunis Tasya Shakaha. Shakuni was the branches. All of you remember who Shakuni is? Yeah, one of you, can you all, can somebody tell? Ahri or Ritvik, will you tell who Shakuni was? Yes, Vidushi?
Brother of Gandhari.
Excellent, yeah. Gandhari's brother was Shakuni. So Shakunis Tasya Shakaha. Whenever Duryodhana shows hatred, when he's jealous of Pandavas, Shakuni gives ideas. So the branching out of the mind of Duryodhana, all the creative thoughts. So those are given by Shakuni. How to trouble Pandavas, how to cause them harm. All those ideas are given by Shakuni. Duryodhano Manyumayo Mahadrumaha. Duryodhana is a huge tree filled with jealousy. Karnas Kandaha, the trunk of the tree is Karna, Shakunis Tasya Shakaha, the branches of the tree is Shakuni. Then
दुःशासनः पुष्पफले समृद्धे.
Dushasanaha Pushpa Phale Samruddhe. Whatever Duryodhana wants immediately is executed by Dushasana. See, the word Dushasana means somebody who cannot be controlled at all. He is such an unruly person. See, in the English language, there's a word called unruly. That's exactly the translation of the word dushasana. Shasana means to rule. Dushasana means somebody who cannot be ruled over, somebody who cannot be disciplined, somebody who cannot be controlled. Such a person is Dushasana. Dushasana Pushpa Phale Samruddhe. Indisciplined nature of Dushasana could never be controlled. Later on in the story, we'll see this. So, whatever idea, the negative idea that Duryodhana gets, that is executed and fruitified by Dushasana. Dushasana Pushpa Phale Samruddhe. Moolam Raja Dhritarashtra Amanishi. A tree is supposed to have roots, right? So, who is the root of the tree? The root of the tree is Dhritarashtra Amanishi, an ignoble person. So, Dhritarashtra is the root of the tree. Okay. So, this is one tree, the Kaurava tree, the Kaurava tree, which is rooted in jealousy, with Dhritarashtra who is blinded by love, Dhritarashtra who is not giving the right kind of advice to his children, and the creative ideas being given by Shikuni. Shikuni is Tasya Shakaha. Skanda, or the trunk of the tree is Karna, who is encouraging and supporting Duryodhana in all his treacherous activities, in all the activities which is causing pain to the Pandavas, is causing pain to Kunti. So Karna supports them. And Dushasana Pushpa Phale Samruddhe. The fruits and flowers of the tree are Dushasana. All right. So now Mayank will recite the line once. All of you recite it once, follow after him. Anisha, you unmute yourself and repeat after him. All of you pay attention here. Mayank will repeat it once. Anisha will repeat it once, and you all of you repeat with her. Yes, Mayank, start.
दुर्योधनो मन्युमयो महाद्रुमः
दुर्योधनो मन्युमयो महाद्रुमः
स्कन्धः कर्णः शकुनिस्तस्य शाखाः
स्कन्धः कर्णः शकुनिस्तस्य शाखाः
दुःशासनः पुष्पफले समृद्धे
दुःशासनः पुष्पफले समृद्धे
मूलं राजा धृतराष्ट्रो मनीषी
मूलं राजा धृतराष्ट्रो मनीषी.
Okay. Okay, this is one tree which Vyasa is speaking about. There's another tree, the good tree of the Pandavas. So what is that? We'll listen now. Yudhishthiro Dharmamayo Mahadrumaha. Yudhishthira is a huge tree filled with dharma. The Pandavas never mean to do bad to anyone. Yudhishthiro Dharmamayo Mahadrumaha.
स्कन्धोऽर्जुनो
Hmm.
स्कन्धोऽर्जुनो भीमसेनोऽस्य शाखाः.
Whatever dharmic activity the Yudhishthira wants to do, Skanda, the Skanda means the trunk of the tree. All the support is given by Arjuna, and Bhimasenasya Shakaha, the branches, whatever different kinds of dharmic activities Yudhishthira plans to do, all of them are executed by Bhima. Then
माद्रीसुतौ पुष्पफले समृद्धे.
Madri Sudau, the sons of Madri, Nakula and Sahadeva, they are like the fruits and flowers of this beautiful dharmic tree.
मूलं कृष्णो ब्रह्म च ब्राह्मणाश्च.
The root of this dharmic tree is Krishna. Bhagavan Shri Krishna is the root. Look at the beauty here. Krishna, who is the Paramatma, himself is the root. He is the Brahma Tattva. He is the best of the Brahmanas as well. So that divine knowledge, that spiritual knowledge is the root of this dharmic tree. In one tree is full of jealousy, the other tree is full of dharma. For one tree, the root is Dhritarashtra. For the other tree, the root is Bhagavan Shri Krishna. Dhatri, you can reserve your questions to the end of the class. Please don't interrupt now. Mayank, will you recite it? And Anisha will repeat it after you.
युधिष्ठिरो धर्ममयो महाद्रुमः
युधिष्ठिरो धर्ममयो महाद्रुमः
स्कन्धोऽर्जुनो भीमसेनोऽस्य शाखाः
स्कन्धोऽर्जुनो भीमसेनस्य शाखाः
माद्रीसुतौ पुष्पफले समृद्धे
माद्रीसुतौ पुष्पफले समृद्धे
मूलं कृष्णो ब्रह्म च ब्राह्मणाश्च
मूलं कृष्णो ब्रह्म च ब्राह्मणाश्च.
Okay, fantastic. Let's go ahead. Okay, so these are the true huge trees which the Mahabharata is telling about. Two huge trees, the stories of which the Mahabharata is telling us about. Let's go ahead in the story. I had told you that upon the advice of sage Vyasa, the Pandavas come to a place called Ekachakra Nagara. All of you please focus here and listen. By the way, and general instruction to all of you, first of all, you'll have to sit up when you're listening to a class. Please don't eat anything in the middle of the class. Don't speak to each other while you're in the class. Please follow certain discipline. Okay, just like what you do in your school, especially when you're doing the Mahabharata. Mahabharata is a divine epic. It's Paramatma. Sri Krishna is a part of this Mahabharata, so there is no way that we are going to disrespect it. Okay, all of you, please sit straight, listen. You may write down. Please don't eat or talk or discuss or make fun of each other. If two or three of you are in one login, please focus. Okay, so the Pandavas come to this place called Ekachakranagara upon the advice of Vyasa. So in Ekachakranagara, what had happened was there was a Rakshasa called Bakasura who was outside the town and he was constantly attacking Ekachakranagara. The king of Ekachakranagara had gotten really scared of Bakasura who was constantly attacking. So he had ran away from there, he had escaped from the town. See, this is definitely not the nature of a good king. A good king is supposed to take care of the safety of his people, the welfare of his people. See, here in this case, the king was very selfish and he went away from the town. You'll all have to keep this in mind. If any one of you wants to become a minister, a minister like a prime minister or one of the cabinet ministers, etc., you'll have to be very responsible. You should not be selfish. A person who is in an administrative position has to have a lot of responsibility. However, the king here was irresponsible. He had gone away to another place called Vetvaki Gruha from Ekachakra Nagara, and Bakasura was constantly troubling the people of Ekachakra Nagara, right? And the people of Ekachakra Nagara, they requested Bakasura, saying that please don't trouble us, we'll give you whatever you want. So Bakasura had come up with a rule that every day from one of the households, an entire bullock cart of food has to be prepared and it should be sent to me with one person. So Bakasura would eat up the entire food. He would eat the two bullocks and also the person who's driving the car. So two bulls, all the food, and also the human being, all of these would become the food of Bakasura. That was the condition that Bakasura had put. See, just imagine if the village had 600 houses, okay? Every day, one person of the village would die because of this Bakasura. Just imagine this. If you stay in a town and the town does not have protection, and today one person from your house dies, tomorrow your neighbor dies, tomorrow one more neighbor dies, tomorrow your relative dies. How painful it is, isn't it? Isn't it very painful? Therefore, it's very important to have good kings. This is what the Mahabharata is trying to show us. Kings who are responsible, kings who bother and care about the welfare of their people, the welfare of their citizens. I think Hamsa Akka had shared a shloka on the group. Praja sukhe sukham rajyaha praja namcha hite hitam natma priyam priyam rajyaha praja namcha hite sukham. A king should find comfort in the comfort of his people. So this is a very important rule that we'll have to remember. Okay, this shloka has been sent on the group. Please pay attention to it. So now Pandavas come to this village and they stay in disguise in a Brahmana's house. So all of them, all the five Pandavas would go out begging every day. Just look at this. Look at the painful state that the Pandavas were in. Their father Pandu was a very great king. He had conquered so many regions. He had expanded the kingdom, and everybody was fond of Pandu. And everybody in Hastinapura was fond of Pandavas for no fault of theirs. Pandavas had not done any mistake. They were sent away from the kingdom. They were made to stay in a Laksha Gruha, a wax house, That was put on fire. Now they have come, escaped here, and they're begging for food. They don't have anything to eat. Just imagine if you were in such a position, wouldn't you be very hurt? Wouldn't you be in great amount of pain? Right? So all the five Pandavas had one day gone out begging for food. And Kunti, the mother Kunti, was alone at home. She heard the Brahmana family, who were their hosts. The Brahmana family had the father, the mother, the son, and the daughter. She heard that all the four of them were crying very loudly. She was greatly pained. She got really worried. What happened to this family? Why is everybody crying? She thought, and went and overheard the conversation. She came to know that it was their turn to send the supply of food to Bakasura. Okay. So Bakasura would eat one person from their family. So the four of them were discussing who should go and sacrifice their life to Bakasura. So all the food was prepared by the mother and the father together. Huge amount of food was prepared, and two bullocks. All of you know what a bull is, right? All of you have traveled in bullock carts. Have you seen bullock carts? Right. Yeah. If you have not seen bullock carts, go to some villages today. So any village near the place where you stay, you'll find bullock carts there. It's so painful to see cows being killed, isn't it? Cow is worshipped as Gomata in the Indian tradition. All the 33 crore gods live in a cow, and the male of a cow is a bull. So the bull would be eaten. A bull which you have reared. Just think about it. You have a pet dog or a cat in your house, suppose. And tomorrow you have to give it away and somebody is going to eat it. How painful it is going to be for you, right? So the two bulls which had grown up in this person's house, they had to be given away. In addition to that, one of them had to sacrifice their life to protect the rest of the family. Okay. So all the four of them were discussing. The father was saying that I am the oldest person. It is because of me that all of you are suffering so much. I will go and sacrifice my life. Let Bakasura kill me. The mother said, nothing doing. If you go away, who will earn for the family? Who will take care of the family? Me, a single lady with a son and a daughter, I can't take care of them. I can't protect them. So I will go and die. The mother says. Then the daughter says, you know what? Any day, anyway, you would give me in marriage to somebody else. I would have to go and stay with my husband anyway. So therefore, I would go away from the house anyway one day. So imagine that you have given me away and let me go and die to Bakasura. Let me become Ahara. Let me become Bakasura's food. Then the little boy, 8-year-old boy who was there, he says, nothing doing. Father, mother, sister, none of you are going to die. I will go and kill Bakasura with the stick. He picks up a stick and says he will go and kill Bakasura. Now, a question, Rashmi or Aditi. What do you see from this conversation here between the four of them? It's a very, very interesting conversation. Let us see one interpretation. Yes, Rashmi.
So, first of all, I can see the love between them, all the family
Okay.
members. They love
Hmm.
each other very much. And
Hmm.
about the small boy, at least he wants to try. He wants to try to correct the situation. That is one very good quality. We don't know if
Mhm.
he's capable or not, but the
Mhm.
attitude and the effort he wants to put to correct the wrong situation is what we have to appreciate.
Beautiful. Excellent. Excellent. Some people, okay, so many people may sent messages to me already. All right. So some people are saying the boy's innocence. The boy is innocent, but like Rashmi said, he's trying to solve the problem. Why should anybody die? Let us kill Bakasura only. If Bakasura dies, this problem itself won't be there, right? Nobody needs to sacrifice their lives. And like Rashmi very beautifully observed, the love in the family. Just imagine 3 or 4 of you are in a family. Do you want anybody to go away permanently from the family? You would want all of you to stay together, like your father, your mother, your brother, sister. If your grandparents are there, your cousins are there, would you be ready to sacrifice any one of them? Absolutely not. But still, look at the father and the mother. At the cost of their own life, they want the family to be happy, right? So this is one exemplary quality of any parents. Just look at this. In your own houses, your parents would be sacrificing a lot for your own well-being, for your own happiness, right? So that's exactly what we see here in the story of the Sekachakranagara. So Kunti overhears this conversation, comes there and tells the father and the mother that, I have got 5 children. It is okay for me to send away one of them. You have got only one son and daughter, but I've got 5 sons. My son will go and become the Ahara for Bakasura, Kunti says. And then the father says, how many ever children a person has, the mother will be equally attached to all of them. There is no way that you will sacrifice even one of your children. Okay. Now, just another point here, Aditi, Rashmi, Mayank, or one of you, there is a bigger Rajaniti or a bigger picture of Kunti's character that we'll have to notice here. All of you pay attention carefully. Or Gauri, anybody? Anisha, anybody? Can you think of another point that is here? See,
Sir,
the Pandav, yes?
Kunti cares more about the citizens rather than her own family. One
Brilliant.
point.
Exactly. This is exactly what I was looking for. See, Kunti was, after all, the queen of Pandu. Pandu was a very capable king, and Kunti was the queen, right? See, it's the queen's duty, just like the king's duty, not to care about her own well being, but to care about the well being of the people. So she is in trouble. Just look at this. Kunti and the Pandavas have been thrown out of the kingdom, they have been cheated by their cousins, but still they want to do good to the society. See, what happens is, even for the older people here, sometimes what happens when we are in trouble, we become very bitter about the world. And we want to kind of keep on harping about the bitterness. These people have troubled me. These people have wronged me. These people have cheated me. So that be a constant refrain in our minds. But look at the mature nature of Kunti here. Although she is in trouble, she has been cheated by Dhritarashtra, she has been cheated by Duryodhana, Dushasana, etc. Still, she wants to help people who are in need. She never goes and tells the Brahmana family that these people have cheated me, my brother-in-law cheated me, my cousins cheated me. Neither the Pandavas nor Kunti say that, right? The real dharma of a queen is seen beautifully in Kunti's character, right? And Kunti, look at the other point here, these people have been very good hosts. Atiti Deva, they have been very good hosts who consider Atitis or guests as divinities. See, if the Brahmana family wanted, he could have only asked these people, send one of your people, right? Send one of your sons as food to Bakasura. But the Brahmana family is very careful. He's ready to sacrifice his own family and take care of his guests really well. So he did not even reveal the problem of his own accord to Kunti and others. A very, very subtle incident here, how a common man's life is affected by a bad ruler. Bad ruler at the level of the village, bad ruler at the level of the top ruler. Dhritarashtra and Duryodhana, they were very selfish. So this is a very important situation in the Mahabharata. So Kunti convinces that she is ready to send one of her children there. She also says that her children are really powerful men. So then all the 5 of them who had gone out begging, the Pandavas come back home, but none of their identity is revealed. Okay. So she asks Bhima to go and to get ready the following day to go and give food, to deliver food to Bakasura. So from here, I'll share the pictures. Okay, is the screen available? Screen visible? Not visible. Okay, just a moment. Just a moment, I'll share it. Yeah.
Yes.
Is it visible now? Yeah. Okay. Okay. So now Bhima, the Brahmana family along with Kunti, they cook very tasty food in huge containers. Bhima goes with two bullocks to the place where Bakasura was staying. Bakasura was staying on the top of a hillock. Bhima goes there and Bakasura gets the fragrance of the food from the top of the mountain. Okay. So Bakasura is craving, he is hungry. He's hungry and craving. He's getting the fragrance. He gets the fragrance of the two bulls also which have come. He gets the fragrance of the human being also who has come. Human flesh, he gets that fragrance. But Bhima starts eating up the food right in front of Bakasura. Bakasura is watching, and for a long time, Bhima was not even coming. He was just gobbling up the food because Bhima was also a very good eater. He eats and eats, and Bakasura gets to know that he's eating, and he gets even more annoyed. See, just think of this when you're hungry and right in front of you, the food which is meant to you, somebody else is eating. They're not even offering to you. Okay. And he eats a lot and he loudly burps. Okay, Bhima. And this annoys Bakasura even more. Bakasura comes down and punches on Bhima's back, and that helps in Bhima's digestion of the food. So look at this. Look at this picture. This is from here, this one from Amritapura. Look at how beautifully they have shown this is big person, Bhima, with so many containers of food that he has come. He has come in a bullock cart. Okay, you can see the two bulls there. And that is Bakasura who was living on the top of a mountain. If you look at the top here, some rocks are shown and some trees are shown. So that was the mountain on the top of which Bakasura was staying. So Bhima fights Bakasura and they fight with trees, they fight with boulders, etc. And Bakasura is eventually killed. Bhima silently comes back to Ekachakra Nagara. He hangs the dead body of Bakasura at the doorway to the village, at the entrance to the village, and silently comes back. The next morning, people go to the entrance of the village and see that the Rakshasa who they were scared of is dead. Okay? But they don't know who had killed him. So, any idea, Pavani, Anisha, etc.? Why didn't Bhima reveal who he was and why did he just hang it there? Okay, any one of you?
Because he
because he was scared that Duryodhana and others would find out.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, yeah.
He didn't want
So he
to
did not
reveal
want.
he didn't want to reveal his identity.
Perfect, perfect. See, this is again the nature of a very good king or a very capable ruler. You do the good task and don't boast about what you have done. So if you do a dharmic deed, you should not boast about it. Your dharmic deed should be silent. Okay. See, for the older people here, we have seen in many old age homes or orphanages, temples, etc. People donate a lot of money. Okay. Once they donate their money, their name should be put on slabs there. That would be their demand. So the more amount of money that they donate, they want their names in bigger and bigger letters. I've seen in a temple certain person had donated tube lights to the temple. Okay. And on the top of the tube light, he had put his own name in some black paper. So the very purpose of tube light is defeated there. Only his name is visible there. Right? If you're doing a dharmic activity, you need not proclaim or announce about it. You must be silent and humble about what you're doing. So that's another quality of Bhima that we see here. He does not reveal his identity, firstly, because he does not want to be discovered. He does not want the Pandavas to be discovered by Duryodhana because, again, there might be trouble from Duryodhana. That's one thing. The Pandavas are looking for some bigger support before they reveal themselves. And secondly, that also shows the humility of Bhima, where he does not declare, or he does not want to say that he has done this. Anyway, so thereafter, that small village, the Ekachakra Nagara, lived happily ever after. See, this is another beautiful painting of Bhima killing Bakasura. So he is punching and tearing him apart. So this is from one of the Chandamamas. Then, upon the advice of Vyasa Maharshi, the Pandavas, along with Kunti, they continue and come to the outskirts of this city called Panchala Nagara. So the king of Panchala Nagara was Drupada. He was also called Yajnasena. I guess all of you remember this. Drupada had got two children. Both of them were born out of fire. The son was Drishtadyumna. The daughter was Draupadi. Draupadi was also called Yajnaseni. She was called Krishna. She was called Panchali. Right? So he had two children, Drishtadyumna and Draupadi. He had arranged a swayamvara for Draupadi. So what is a swayamvara? Swayamvara is where the lady, the princess, chooses whom she wants to marry. She chooses the husband. And to prove the strength of the people who are participating in the swayamvara, usually a competition, a challenge is arranged. So the challenge here was that there would be a rotating fish at the top, the model of a fish at the top, which would be rotating. And look here, this many of you might not have known if you've just watched the TV serial or if you have just read the popular books. There was a rotating fish. Below the rotating fish was a rotating wheel. Okay. The reflection of the rotating fish had to be seen in a bowl of water, in a basin of water, and the eye of the fish had to be hidden. So that was the challenge, and 5 chances would be given. Using 5 arrows, the eye of the fish had to be aimed at and hit at. So this is called Matsya Yantra Bhedana. Matsya means the fish. Yantra means any mechanized device. Bhedana means to pierce it. Matsya Yantra Bhedana. So this was the challenge. So the fish is rotating. A 24-spoked wheel is rotating below it. And while looking at the reflection, it has to be shorted. Okay. So many people had come in the competition. There, Duryodhana, Karna, Shalya, all these people had come. The Pandavas also happened to go there. Krishna had come with his brother Balarama and Satyaki and a few other people. Krishna had come there just to watch who are the people who are coming. Just look at this, the younger ones and the older ones. It's a very interesting strategy for Krishna to come there. See, this is a very important Swayamvara that is happening. One of the greatest kingdoms, Drupada's kingdom, the Panchala kingdom, the princess belonging to that kingdom is being given away in Swayamvara. So Krishna, who has this vision of integrating the entire nation, to integrate, to unify the entire India, Bharat Desha, under one Chhatradipatya or Ekachakradipatya, one emperorship, a dharmic rule Krishna wanted to bring. So he wanted to observe who are the competitors here, who are the people who come and seek the hands of Draupadi in marriage. And he had also known that Pandavas were in trouble. Pandavas were Krishna's cousins. How were they cousins? Krishna's father was Vasudeva. Vasudeva's sister was Pruta, who was also called Kunti. So, Krishna's father Vasudeva was like the Sodara Mava, right, for the Pandavas. He was the mama for the Pandavas. And for Krishna, Kunti was Sodaratte. She was like the mami for Krishna, right? So they were actually cousins. He had known that the Pandavas and his aunt were in trouble. They had been thrown away from Hastinapura. So therefore, he was also on the lookout, and he somehow wanted to help probably. So he had also come to the Swayamvara. So one after the other, they had to try and lift up the bow, string the bow, and shoot the arrow at the mechanized fish. The arrow had to go through the spokes of the wheel. Okay. Now look at this. Shalya, who was already an old man, he had come to marry Draupadi. And Shalya was not even able to lift the bow. Karna was not able to lift the bow. Duryodhana was not able to lift the bow. So everybody was shocked. The greatest of the people from Hastinapura have come and they are not even able to lift the bow. What is this? So everybody was very shocked and everybody was very troubled. That is when Arjuna, who was in the disguise of a Brahmana, he was wearing very simple clothes. Usually, Kshatriyas or kings. Kings would come very well decked up with a lot of ornamentation, with a lot of jewelry to show off their wealth also. So, if you want to marry a princess, you should also show the princess had to show that they were also wealthy, right? So, everybody else had come very well decked up. But then Arjuna, who was in very simple clothes, he goes ahead, easily picks up the bow, shoots the arrow at the fish, and immediately wins over Draupadi's hand. Okay, everybody there was astonished. All the Kshatriyas, the greatest of the Kshatriyas, have not been able to do this. Brahmanas who are just studying different Shastras, Vedas, etc. How is such a person able to do this? None of the Kshatriyas are able to do. Who are these Brahmanas who are able to do? They all became annoyed. Duryodhana, Karna, Shalya, etc. They started attacking these five people, the Pandavas, who were in disguise. Karna, Shalya, Duryodhana did not know who these five people were. The five of them did not reveal their identity. Bhima and Arjuna fought them. They fought Shalya and all of them, Shalya, Karna, etc. And they shoot them away. Just look at this another point. If you find an other talented person who is more talented than you, should you go and fight them or appreciate their talent? So suppose there is a running race in your school, right? Somebody comes first. Suppose you did not come first in the running race. Should you go and beat them up, the person who has come first or who has done well? Absolutely not. This is not a good kind of sportsmanship, right? So, not a good example. Again, we recollect how jealous Duryodhana, Karna, and all of these people were. Let us recall the shloka once again. Duryodhano Manyamayo. That one.
दुर्योधनो मन्युमयो महाद्रुमस्कन्धः कर्णः शकुनिस्तस्य शाखाः दुःशासनः पुष्पफले समृद्धे मूलं राजा धृतराष्ट्रो मनीषी.
Okay. See, this shloka, which Vyasa Maharshi writes at the beginning of the Mahabharata, throughout the Mahabharata, we get to know that it is true. At every situation, Duryodhana, Dushasana, Karna, Shalya, all of them behave in a very jealous manner. Okay. So now Bhima and Arjuna defeat all of them, and they come back with Draupadi. All the five of them, they come to the place where they were staying. They were all staying in a potter's hut. Near a potter's hut, they were all staying outside the Panchal Nagara. So Kunti was inside the house, and the five of them come along with Draupadi. Yudhishthira from outside, he announces to Kunti that we have brought today's Bhiksha. We have won over today's Bhiksha. Kunti, without seeing from inside, she says, all the five of you share the Bhiksha amongst yourselves. At the same time, what happens is, Draupadi falls in love with all the five Pandavas. All the five Pandavas fall in love with Draupadi. So this is one very important point which the Mahabharata says. For the older people who are present here, kindly go through the original Mahabharata. Nowhere does it say that Kunti forced Draupadi to marry the five of them, nor did she force her five children to marry Draupadi. Kunti rushes out of the hut and realizes her mistake. Oh my God, I thought these people had brought Bhiksha. Every day when they bring Bhiksha, I would ask them to share amongst each other. A lion's share would go to Bhima because he eats a lot. The lesser amount of share would come to the four of the other brothers. So I thought Bhiksha meant food. And that is why I said, then she repents and says that, sorry, I did not mean that all the five of you have to marry her. So Kunti says that clearly. Yudhishthira also says that Arjuna, you are the one who have legally won her over. You should marry her. But then all the five of them had fallen in love with her. Draupadi also had fallen in love with all the five of them. So therefore, they decide that all the five of them will marry Draupadi. Now, There are a few more things connected here. Politically, it is said that Kunti wanted to ensure that the five Pandavas are united. Therefore, there was one wife to all five of them, one wife dedicated to all the five of them. Secondly, there's a story behind this, which we come across in the Mahabharata itself. In her previous life, Draupadi desperately wanted to get married in her previous life. But then she had never found a husband in her previous life. So therefore, she had performed tapas to Bhagavan Shankara, Shiva. She had performed tapas. And Shiva had come there. And as soon as Shiva came, in her previous Janma, Draupadi have had very enthusiastically asked, Patin Dehi, Patin Dehi, Patin Dehi, Patin Dehi, Patin Dehi. 5 times she asked. See, sometimes when you are also in that mood of doing hata, tumba hata ಮಾಡುವಂತಹ mood ಅಲ್ಲಿದ್ರೆ, to your parents, to your father or mother, it's beku, beku, beke, beku. I want this, I want this, I want this. So you will ask many times, right? So similarly, Draupadi also, in her previous birth, when Shiva had come there, 5 times she had asked. So Shiva had also said, Tathastu, 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 Tathastu. 5 times he had said Tathastu. So therefore, in this Janma, she gets 5 husbands. So that is the other thing. Okay, anyway, 5 men marrying one lady and one man marrying different numerous number of women. That was common in the olden days. We just have to accept this fact and go ahead. Pandu had 2 wives. Dasharatha had 353 wives. All of you know who Dasharatha is. Rama's father. All of you know the 3 wives that he had. Kausalya, Sumitra and Kaikeyi. He had 350 more wives. 353 wives he had got. Okay. So these are the kinds of things that we see. Even historically, we see that the Mysore kings, the Vijayanagara kings, the Gupta kings, all of them had multiple wives. These were political alliances. Okay, we'll just accept this fact and go ahead. So Draupadi eventually gets married to all the 5 brothers. There was a spy of Duryodhana who was watching all this. He he goes back to Duryodhana and reports to Duryodhana that the 5 people who won over Draupadi, or the person who did the task really well, the one who did the Matsyayantra Vedana, is actually Arjuna. The spy goes and reports. Okay, and Duryodhana's jealousy even more bottles up. Something which I was not able to achieve, the Pandavas have been able to achieve, and Arjuna has been able to achieve. Just look at this. Duryodhana, Karna, Shalya, all of them had got humiliated in front of the Pandavas and in front of Draupadi in the swayamvara. Do you all see this? Draupadi was there. The Pandavas were there. Duryodhana was not able to lift the bow. Karna was not able to lift the bow. Shalya was not able to lift the bow. Duryodhana and others had thought that the Pandavas had died. But here it appears that the Pandavas are very much alive. And they have realized the weakness of the Kauravas. Draupadi has also realized the weakness of the Kauravas. And the Pandavas have been able to achieve something which the Kauravas have not been able to achieve. So therefore, it was a very great shock for Duryodhana. So again, he became really jealous and he somehow wanted to subdue the Pandavas. Okay. In the meantime, what happens is Krishna and Balarama, they come to the hut in which Kunti was staying with the 5 Pandavas along with Draupadi. Right? See, this is the first time we have had 5 classes already. Now, today in the 6th class, we are encountering Bhagavan Sri Krishna, who is the actual hero of Mahabharata. So, Krishna comes and he introduces himself to Kunti. He tells to Kunti, I am your older brother's son, Krishna. He goes down to Kunti, who is his maternal aunt. He touches the feet of Kunti. He bows down to Yudhishthira. He touches the feet of Yudhishthira because Yudhishthira is like a cousin, elder brother, Annanante Krishnanige. So he touches the feet of Yudhishthira. He bows down to Bhima and touches the feet of Bhima. Arjuna and Krishna were almost the same age. Arjuna was a little younger than Krishna. Nakula and Sahadeva were, of course, younger to Krishna. Krishna hugs Arjuna And Nakula and Sahadeva do namaskara to Sri Krishna and Balarama. Okay, so the etiquette to the older people, we are showing our gaurava, we are showing our respect. And the younger ones' respect, we are accepting it with grace, and we are doing, we are giving our ashirvada upon them. We are blessing them as well. So this is what we see. And Krishna promises the Pandavas and Draupadi there, whenever you want any kind of help, I am here for you. I'll be there to support you and to help you. So Krishna says that. Now, just another point here. Now, Drupada was very worried. Who are these five people who married Draupadi? So, Drishtadyumna, that particular night, when Draupadi had come and she was staying in the hut of the Pandavas, he comes and spies upon them. Drishtadyumna is the older brother of Draupadi. He comes and overhears the conversation which is taking place at night. The Pandavas were discussing amongst themselves about weapons, about the Rajya, about good rule, about the kingdom, etc. So just by hearing the conversation, Drishtadyumna gets to know that they are very important Kshatriyas. And he conveys this to his father, Drupada, and Drupada also becomes very happy and he arranges a very big marriage ceremony to the Pandavas and to Draupadi. They get married in a very grand manner. Okay. After this, they come back to Hastinapura, which was the capital city. Now, see, I'll continue the story tomorrow. Just look at this, the older people and the younger people here. The Pandavas are in a state of revealing their identity to Hastinapura, to the Kurus, to the Kauravas now, because they have got the support of a very huge kingdom. The very huge kingdom in the form of Drupada's kingdom. The Panchala Nagara is in their support. They have gained the support of Sri Krishna also. Sri Krishna, who had by then established the city of Dwarka. Dwarka is in today's Gujarat. One of the greatest trading ports, one of the richest cities was established by Bhagavan Sri Krishna. He had shifted the capital city from Mathura to Dwarka because Mathura was being attacked continuously by Jarasandha. I'll come to this story tomorrow because the Mathura city, the capital city, the older capital city of the Yadavas, the Vrishnis was constantly under attack. It had been shifted to Dwarka. So now the Pandavas had gained confidence. They have the support of their father-in-law's kingdom. Drupada and Drishtadyumna are on their side. They have got the support of Sri Krishna and Balarama and the Yadavas. So now they are in a state where they can come back to the kingdom. Okay, with this, I'll stop. Now, two people should volunteer. If you have learned the names of the 18 Parvas of Mahabharata, volunteer and please tell it now. Let us see how correctly you will tell it. Yeah, who has learned it? I see only two hands. Yes, others. Please tell.
Sir, should I say the name of the 18 or the order?
In the order, of course.
Sir, Madhvayam,
That is those are the Puranas, not the Parvas.
Par,
The Parvas of
sir,
Mahabharata.
sir, I can say the Parvas, but not in order. Is it fine, sir?
Okay. We'll listen to Anisha and then we'll see. Come back to you. Yes, Anisha. Quick. Sharanya, have you learned them? In the order? Okay. After Anisha, we'll listen to Sharanya. You're not where you are. You'll have to unmute yourself, Anisha.
Adi Sabha Aranyaka Virata Udyoga Bhishma Drona Karna Shalya Sauptika Stri Shanti Anushasana Ashwamedhika Ashramavasika Mausala Mahaprasthanika Swargaru.
Excellent. Very good, Anisha. Sharanya, do you want to try?
आदि पर्व सभा पर्व वना पर्व विराट पर्व उद्योग पर्व भीष्म पर्व द्रोण पर्व शल्य पर्व सौप्तिक पर्व शांति पर्व सौप्तिक पर्व स्त्री पर्व शांति पर्व अनुशासन पर्व आश्रमवासिक पर्व
Ashwamedhika.
Ashwamedhika Parva, Mausala Parva, Mahaprasthanika Parva, Swargarohana Parva.
Excellent. Fantastic. Anybody else wants to try? Yes, Pavani. You got a chance, Adarsh, already.
Sir,
Adi Parva,
oh,
Adi Parva, Sabha Parva, Aranyaka Parva, Virata Parva, Bhishma Parva, Drona Parva, Shalya Parva, Karna Parva, Sauptika Parva, Stri Parva, Sauptika Parva, Stri Parva,
You want to help her, Maya?
Shanti Parva.
Shanti Parva, Anushasana Parva.
Shanti Parva, Anushasana Parva, Adhishtana Parva, Ashwamedhika Parva.
What? Adhishtana?
Ashwamava-
Wait. What is this new Parva? I'm hearing for the first time. Huh? Wait. Shanti Parva, Anushasana Parva, then?
Ashwamedhika Parva.
Right. And Ashramavasika, then?
Mausala Parva, Mahaprasthana Parva, Swargarohana Parva.
Excellent. Fine. All right. See, only 3 people have volunteered and said properly. The Puranas, many of you had learned. I hope all of you still remember the names of the Puranas and the names of the Parvas. I hope tomorrow more number of you will be able to tell the names of the 18 Parvas. Okay, now 3 more minutes. If there are questions, I'll be. If the children have any questions, please let me know. Yes, Dhatri.
Sir, you told that Gandhari, she was jealous of Kunti, and then so Duryodhana was also like filled with jealousy, no? Why did
I did not
Nakula and
say that.
Sahadeva?
No, wait. Very good. Wait. Firstly, his mother was also a jealous one. Okay. She
Yeah.
had jealousy inside her. So probably, see, many times it is said that many of these features come down to you through genes, especially when the mother is pregnant. The kind of thoughts that she gets, that affects the baby also, which is in the garbha, which is in the womb. Right? So probably the jealousy that Gandhari felt, that would also have affected, and that quality would have come to Duryodhana. It's not that because she was jealous, Duryodhana is also jealous. The mother, the father, the children, all of them are jealous there in the family. Yeah.
So like, why couldn't, like, if we go on the same basis, why couldn't Nakula and Sahadeva be like that? Even Madri was jealous of Kunti, no?
Madri was not jealous of Kunti. Madri wanted to have children like what Kunti had. So Kunti gives her that boon, that mantra through which she could invoke the god she wants, and through the blessings of the god she could beget children. Right? Okay. Yes, Samhita.
Sir, I have 2 doubts.
Yes.
Sir, the first one is in both there are 2 stories. Now you said one of Bhima's, which is Bakasura's, and one of Krishna's. So, like, I didn't like, were they the same or they were different, but
No.
from the same?
Bakasura, I think there is a Bakasura which was killed by Sri Krishna in his childhood. Okay. That Bakasura was in the form of a bird. It was in the form of a crane. Bakapakshi means a kind of bird, which is a crane. Okay. So Krishna goes and tears it apart between its beaks. Krishna goes and tears it apart. So that is Bakasura in Bhagavad Purana. So that was done long time back before this happened. Long time in the sense, it must have been about 20 years before this Bakasura is killed. This Bakasura is different. That Bakasura is different. That Bakasura had come to Gokula when Krishna was in Gokula. This Bakasura was found near Ekachakranagara. This Bakasura was a human kind of Rakshasa. That Rakshasa was in the form of a bird. Okay. That Rakshasa was set free by Kamsa. Kamsa had sent him to kill Krishna. Okay. What is your other question? Yes, Adya, you have a question? Adya, Vivan. Okay, let me see.
Sir,
Yeah.
is Shikandi's father Drupada?
Yes, Shikandi was also one of the children of Drupada. I'll tell more about him when I speak later about the war. Okay. Yes, Vivan. Very good, Kadya. I'm so glad that you know the story so well. Yes, Vivan.
So Dronacharya wanted to take revenge on Drupada, but in the end he wasn't able to do it because Arjun married um this Draupadi. So he was
Very
not
good
able.
point. Very nice point, Vivan. So, Drona indeed took revenge on Drupada by showing that his students are even more capable than Drupada. That he has shown through his physical mind and the training of Kshatriya. But then, like you very nicely said, Drona's student Arjuna marries Drona's enemy's daughter. That is Draupadi. So, in a sense, it's a failure of Drona. A very beautiful observation, a very nice perspective, Divan. Thank you. Vidushi.
Sir, you said
Hmm.
that in the swayamvara, Karna and Duryodhana and Shalya, they were not able to lift the bow. But in many stories, I've heard that Karna was easily able to lift the bow, but as he was about to shoot the fish, Draupadi said that she won't marry him.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, this is a popular story, Vidushi. It's a very popular story. I have also heard this in many places, but the original Mahabharata does not say this. See, that is why I've been recommending the authentic books for you. There are many such folklore versions. There is another folklore version, by the way, for the older people, which says that although Karna was able to do the task or he was capable, he was refused, saying that he's a Sutaputra. He's not a Kshatriya, so therefore he won't be allowed to marry Draupadi. This also does not come in the original. These are later day cooked up stories to project or portray Karna as a tragic hero. Although Karna was capable, he was not given opportunities. He was denied opportunities. To portray that way, these kinds of stories are in circulation, but that's not true. That is not what the original says. Okay, one or two more questions and then we'll stop. The ones who have volunteered for the concluding prayer, please be ready. Shraddha, Skanda.
Yes, sir. I have two questions. One is about Satyavati. I mean, actually, both is about Satyavati. How could Satyavati stay for like 4 generations? Did she get a
Yeah, very nice. Firstly, we'll have to assume that there is a poetic exaggeration, okay, where it's kind of exaggerated about their lifespan. But in reality, also, it is said that in the past, people could live for 120 years. See, there is this great saint called Ramanujacharya, who, according to historical records, lived for 120 years. Really, he lived for 120 years, and he had seen 6 generations of people. Right, so it's kind of natural that Satyavati had seen it. And Sir M. Vishweshwaraya, he lived 104 years. Another great professor called G. Venkata Subbaiah, he lived for 108 years. We have seen many Swamijis also live for 115 years, etc. So seeing multiple generations is kind of possible. It's not impossible. Right, and being very strong at that old age is also possible. See, that is what we see when Bhishma fights the war. His grandchildren had grandchildren by then, right? But still, he is fighting the war. Yes, Kanda. I'll stop with the question of Skanda.
Sir, in the before birth, Shakuni was Amba, right?
No, Shikandi was Amba.
Yeah,
Shikandi
okay,
was
sir.
Amba. Yes. I have not yet spoken about Shikandi, so just wait. We'll speak about it. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Skanda. Yeah. Okay, shall we conclude? Who is going to tell the concluding prayers? Okay, couple of things. Shall we do the announcement later, Shilpa Bhagini, about the quizzes? Yeah.
We'll finish the
Yeah.
end of it.
Yeah, we'll have the concluding prayer, and all of you please stay on for 2 more minutes. Yes, who is going to tell? There are
Sir.
already volunteers, right? Yeah, please. Yeah.
रत्नोदारचतुस्समुद्ररशनां भुक्त्वा भुवं कौरवो भग्नोरुःपतितः स निष्परिजनो जीवन्वृकैर्भक्षितः गोपैर्विश्वजयी जितः स विजयः कक्षैक्षितविष्णयः तस्मात् सर्वमिदं विचार्य सुचिरं शान्तै मनोदीयताम्.
Very good, Datri and Ritu. Shantyai manodhiyata. One small correction. Shantyai manodhiyata. Okay, let's conclude. We'll stop the screen streaming, I think, and then we'll.
Mhm.
Okay, so all of you, please note the quizzes have been posted. Please do attempt the quizzes. 1, 2, and 3